In this lecture, we'll exit the dialogue after the player reaches the end of the story. The story class has a variable to help us detect the end of the story. Let's try using it. Open the dialog state. We're going to update the update dialog method. If the story can't be continued, we should not bother moving on to the next line. Therefore, let's check the story before calling the continue method. Add a conditional statement with the following condition, not current story can continue. The condition we've written checks the can continue variable for a false value. If this variable is false, that means the story can't continue. In other words, the story is finished. It's safe to exit the dialog. The Ink package manages this variable for us. It'll update the variable when the story has reached its end. In the conditional block of code, run a method called exitDialog. Lastly, return the method to prevent further execution. We're going to outsource the logic for exiting the dialog in a separate method to keep our code clean. At the bottom of the class, define the exitDialog method. There are two actions we must perform with this method. Firstly, we should hide the UI element. Secondly, the action map should be switched. These actions will allow the player to move around. They shouldn't be stuck talking with the NPC forever. Inside the method, set the dialog container.style.display property to displayStyle.none. This line of code should hide the UI. Next, call the player input component.switchCurrentActionMap method. After updating the element styles, we're switching the action map. We should switch to the gameplay action map for the player to move around. Let's pass in the constants.gameplayActionMap constant. After making those changes, the player should be able to move around after finishing the story. Let's talk with the NPC in Unity. This time, things will go differently. After making my choice, the next line of the story should appear. If I attempt to move to the next line, the story is over. We can freely move around again. Best of all, I can talk with the NPC to repeat the cycle. There isn't a limit to how many games I can switch between talking with NPC and playing the game. There are a few bugs with this logic. In the next lecture, let's hash out the bugs before considering our solution complete.